We're all very familiar with your IQ, your SAT scores, but what exactly is emotional intelligence? Here with us now is one of our favorite Marines. He is Eric Rittmeyer. He's a mental toughness expert, and he's the author of the book, The Emotional Marine, 68 Mental Toughness and Emotional Intelligence Secrets to Make Anyone Instantly Like You. I like this guy already. Eric Rittmeyer, first of all, thank you, sir, for your service.
You're the man, John. I appreciate that. Thank you. We all bleed green, so we all love this country. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's get to it. You're an emotional intelligence expert. Just a little bit of an overview here. What exactly is emotional intelligence?
Yeah, there's so many misconceptions tied to this, John. So emotional intelligence, in the simplest terms, it's how we perceive, express, and respond to emotion. For the longest time, it was thought that the smartest people, the ones with the highest IQs, the ones that got the best scores on the SATs, they would go to the best schools, they graduate with the high-end degrees, and they get these wonderful jobs, and they lead people and be very successful. But it ends up back in the early 1990s, there was another component to success. It had nothing to do with academic success. It had everything to do with how we connected with people. This is what emotional intelligence is all about, connecting with other people.
So what kind of traits do people who have a high emotional intelligence, what kind of traits do they possess?
Yes, someone who's very high in emotional intelligence normally is very high in self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skill. At the core of it's really the self-awareness. It's the ability in real time when you're talking with someone to be aware of how we're reacting to this person, to have a real-time understanding of where they're coming from, to conform to that person, to communicate with them so you're able to overcome these adversities, you're able to deal with conflicts, all because in real time you can change gears and adapt to the person you're talking to.
See, I could see why someone with a high emotional intelligence would be a good CEO, a good leader, whether it be in the military or in business. This makes sense. You say also that people with high emotional intelligence, they don't let people hijack their emotions. Talk about that, Eric.
Absolutely. So when we talk about emotional intelligence and mental toughness, which are really interchangeable, if you want mental toughness in two words, it's emotional control. So we're hardwired to feel first and think later as humans. We can't stop the emotion. We shouldn't try to stop it. We shouldn't try to suppress it. We shouldn't try to ignore it. What we have to get good at is learning to acknowledge it. So when we're dealing with people, when they say and do things that trigger us internally, what we can allow them to do is dictate our feelings and how we act. We have total control over our feelings. People are going to say what they want to say. They're going to do what they want to do. But mental toughness is about being aware of the emotion and knowing that when we allow the emotion to guide us, it's going to cloud our judgment.
Eric, I know that a lot of us, including myself, we seek approval from others. And I think that's normal for a human to do, but you don't want to put too much emphasis on that, right?
You're absolutely right. This is the age of social media, right? We're addicted to the acceptance of people that a lot of times we've never even met before. But everything, all of our mental well-being is tied to that thumb or that heart that we get. We have to get over that. As humans, we're hardwired to seek this approval. But if we rely on it for happiness, we're never going to be happy. So what we have to do is recognize that we're going to be who we are. We should want to be liked by other people. That's wonderful. But at the same time, we have to understand you're never going to have everybody like you, and you shouldn't make decisions based off whether or not other people are going to accept you.
And also you say, you know, don't be worried about rejection. It's going to happen. If you have a high emotional intelligence, then rejection really doesn't weigh on you so heavily, correct?
Absolutely. In the world of sales, a lot of salespeople I work with, John, this is at the core of what we do. And it was hard for me to recognize when I first started studying and working with a lot of salespeople. I kept coming back to it appeared that they were afraid of rejection. And ends up, that's my conclusion. Salespeople and people in general are afraid of rejection. We treat that fear of rejection with a process called systematic desensitization. Two of the biggest words in my language, no idea how to spell them, but I can tell you what it means. You consistently put yourself in situations until you desensitize your brain to whatever the pain is, physical, mental, emotional. As it relates to being rejected, do it in small doses. Eventually it becomes a game.
So this is interesting to me. So for those of us who want to gain more emotional intelligence, how do we go about that, Eric? First of all, I'm going to recommend your book, but what other tips do you have for us?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it all starts, John, with the self-awareness piece and really just accepting the fact that we're emotional creatures. 100% of our feelings are okay. It's how we respond to those feelings that's so important. So I think it starts internally. This is an introspective process. Start understanding, start getting a better feel, and start trying to pick up on how others interact with you. If you don't have these deep conversations, if you don't have deep relationships, if you're unable to connect with people, if you don't have empathy for them, it might be something you have to start with internally to say, okay, am I really truly looking deep down, and when I'm dealing with these people, am I really connecting with them on an emotional level? But it all starts with the self-awareness. That's the most critical component.
I would think, Eric, that having a high emotional intelligence would really pay off if you're in the heat of battle, whether it be in business or as a Marine in a true battle. Did you find that your experience as a Marine helped you with your emotional intelligence?
100%. It helps in every aspect of my life, John. That's the thing. And this is, again, what mental toughness is all about. When the lights come on, performing under pressure. And this is what my training is all about. It's not trying to change whatever it is that you do. It's about changing how you think about what you do. Mental toughness, emotional intelligence is about remaining in control of emotions. So when there's chaos around, regardless of whether it's life or death situation like military, or if it's chaos of work, where it's a boardroom, where it's people getting upset, remain in control of emotion. Don't allow yourself to get overcome, because if you do, emotion will outweigh the logic, that unfortunately nothing gets done.
Do you find, Eric, that the winners, whether it be in an election or a business deal, the winners tend to have a very high emotional intelligence level?
Oh my goodness, yes. You can function with that. I tell you what, the highest, most significant, if you watch anybody who is very, very good at leading, anybody who's very good at companies, business people, politicians, these are all people who make others feel very good. This is called effective presence. It's the ability to make other people feel good, even if internally you yourself don't feel good. It's the energy where when you meet somebody, you leave the room and you're like, wow, I feel good about myself. This is someone who has high effective presence, which is most likely going to be very high in emotional intelligence.
You're a great motivational speaker. Your book is fantastic. For people who want to purchase your book, or maybe they want to get a hold of you to have you do a speech in front of their work, or maybe perhaps some of their employees, how do they go about that, Eric?
You're the best, John. Thank you for that. My website's mentaltoughness.speaker.com. You can get my book on Amazon, also directly on my website, emotionalmarine.com, all over social media, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you so much for that. It's always a pleasure being on your show, John.
All righty. On Veterans Day, can I get a big hoorah?
My Marine Corps, 1775. My Marine Corps came alive. Thank you, sir.
I love it. Eric Rittmeyer, who is a retired Marine, but man, he's still got the energy. He's a tough guy and a high emotional intelligence. Okay, coming up next, Prodigal Ministries. What do they do? What do they do? What's their mission? Who do they